Welcome to our Able Carry Core Sling review. Here at Nomads Nation, we've been reviewing travel and EDC gear for the past 7 years. And in this video, I'm gonna show you everything you need to know to decide if this is the bag for you. I'm gonna show you exactly what fits in the bag. We're gonna double check its advertised capacity. And I'll also give you my brutally honest pros and cons so you can decide if this sling is worth the price. And you're gonna wanna stick around to the end of the video, because if you're not quite feeling the Able Carry Core Sling, but you feel like we're close, then I'll make a couple of bag alternative recommendations that might better suit your needs. Let's jump into it. Let's talk about the gist of the Able Carry Core Sling. Some quick brand background info. Able Carry is a Hong Kong-based brand known for making some of the best carry gear in the world. Their backpacks have a cult-like following, and I'm personally a huge fan as well. And that's why seeing them launch their first slings was so freaking exciting, and expectations were really high. And recently, we just published our review of the same sling, the Core Sling, but the mini guy. So this is the Core Regular, this is the Mini, and don't worry, in this review, we'll also compare and contrast them a little bit so you can know the differences and decide which one's better for your needs. But first, let's talk about the Core Regular and look at its core features. We've got a quick access stash pocket, one zippered compartment in the front, and another zippered compartment in the middle. And this middle compartment has some really interesting design choices for organization. We'll talk about that 2 chapters from now. We've also got a hidden back pocket, lash points all around the bottom of the bag, and a really interesting choice for a shoulder strap. This shoulder strap is interesting to me for a lot of reasons, and I think it has some very serious pros and cons that you have to be aware of. And we'll talk about that in a bit more detail 1 chapter from now. Now, Able Carry claims that the Core Regular is about 2.5 liters in capacity. Here at Nomads Nation, we always double check those things. Okay, as you can see, the main compartment and the front pocket fully packed out with our factory grade measurement balls. Should be noted, measuring a bag's capacity is a bit more of an art than it is a science, but this will get us pretty close so you can get an idea. We got a width of just under 10 inches, a height of 5.5 inches, and a fully packed out depth of around 4.5 inches. Let's check the shoulder strap real fast while we're at it, which I'm gonna go ahead and give a little spoiler alert. I am not a fan of this shoulder strap. I think it's as tight as it goes. We've got 26 inches at its shortest, and then I believe at its longest, we're at around 46 inches. Okay, let's check the capacity now. Front compartment, main compartment. I'm probably gonna have to transfer this over. Yeah, as you can see right here, 1 liter, 2 liters volume that we're getting, which means if you add in a little extra capacity in the front stretch pocket and maybe a little bit that you might get in the back, you're right around 2.5 liters. As of recording, the Core Sling comes in 4 different color and fabric options. This is the sling when it's empty, and here it is when it's fully packed out and worn on the Nomads Nation team. All Able Carry bags are protected by a lifetime warranty against manufacturing defects. And based on the chatter in the comments, Able Carry seems to do a pretty good job of honoring that warranty. And for all that, the Core Sling Regular runs around 90 to 119 USD, depending on which color and or fabric that you get. Now that price point is gonna be our North Star moving forward. It kind of gives us context about the value of this sling. But if at any point during this review, you think this sling just is bringing the A game for value, and you're loving it, and you're thinking about making a purchase, we highly suggest doing so with the first link in the description below. 2 reasons why. First, that link makes sure that you get the best price, and we oftentimes have discount codes. And second, that link helps support the Nomads Nation YouTube channel and team, which we greatly appreciate. Thank you very much. All right, moving on, let's talk about the outside of the Able Carry Core Sling. Now let's talk about the aesthetic. And I think this is a really smart looking sling. It's not too professional, not too casual, but also the aesthetic will definitely vary depending on which fabric and or color you get. So let's kind of talk about that as well. So we have 2 versions. We got the Mini in Cordura Green and the regular Core Sling in Ultra Black. And as of recording, there's also a navy version in the Recore Cordura Nylon as well, and a white version in Ultra. So you might be thinking to yourself, like, what's the difference? Honestly, for most people, the Cordura version is going to get the job done. Cordura is one of the greatest fabric makers in the world. If it has the Cordura stamp on it, it is just gonna be of the highest quality. But this ripstop is just a little bit more of a simple fabric. It's not highly technical. It's gonna be abrasion resistant. It's gonna feel great to the touch. And it's also gonna have a decent amount of weather resistance. But if weather resistance is your jam, then you might wanna go with Ultra. This fabric is basically like a steel wall against rain. Now, that doesn't mean that this bag is waterproof. If you throw it into a river, it will sink. It will not float. There's plenty of seams here that water will get through, but it's gonna be significantly more weather resistant than the Cordura version because of the Ultra fabric, which is basically kind of like a modern, beautiful wizard fabric, like that's made out of like plastic. It's awesome. And that weather resistance is gonna be further amplified by the PU coated zippers, which as you can see are right here. Again, extra protection from the rain versus the Cordura version, which just uses a typical reverse coil zipper. So for me, that should be like your litmus test. If you need extreme weather resistance or you just really love the Ultra look, go for Ultra. But otherwise, I think Cordura is gonna be good enough for 90% of people. Now we're gonna talk about the 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets in detail in the next chapter. But first, there's a few more things to cover, starting with all these lash points on this bag. There's a ton of them. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you can see they are placed ever so discreetly at the bottom of the bag, and they're all very flush. They're not like hanging, therefore they're not gonna catch on anything, and it looks very clean. And these are just for clipping things externally onto your bag. If you're like one of those small carabiners, you wanna put like, I don't know, a little hand sanitizer down there, maybe an adorable little stuffed animal. Lots of options, not really my jam. But what is my jam is nerding out on shoulder strap comfort for slings. It sounds boring, but it's actually very important, because this is going to be your entire experience of wearing the sling. You're gonna be interacting with this, or should I say just using this, 100% of the time that you're actually using the sling basically, right? You're only gonna open it like 5 or 10 times throughout the day, but you're gonna be feeling this the entire time. And that's why this is so important. So let's talk about it. The shoulder strap uses a really nice nylon webbing. This is the same fabric that cars use on their seatbelts. We've got a hardware swivel system that connects to the actual sling itself. Pros and cons with that, we'll talk about in a second. And then the actual beefy shoulder pad right here. Where to begin? There's so much to discuss. Let's talk about the hardware. One great thing about this hardware and this swivel system is the comfort it's gonna provide you, because easy to snap on. And then no matter if you're wearing the sling in the front or the back or the side, the swivel system just kind of moves the sling with you, and it repositions the sling to be in its most accessible position. It just fits your torso a lot better because of that. And I was a big fan of these on the Mini as well. See the swivels? They're swiveling so hard. But I like the Mini more because look at how much smaller this hardware is versus this hardware. And when I was wearing this sling and testing it out, I felt this hardware against my torso. You know, like it depends if it's pointing this way and therefore like, you know, jabbing you like in the kidneys. Never was it painful, right? Didn't make me bleed my own blood, but it's noticeable. And sometimes things that are noticeable are uncomfortable in their own way. And especially if you're like the OCD type, which I'm not quite, but I know a lot of people in this community are wired a little bit more like that. And if that's the way that you're wired, that might drive you batty, as my dad used to say. Now let's talk about the landing pad for the actual shoulder strap, which for me I think is overkill. Now, here's the deal. I love padding like this on a backpack strap or on a sling or a messenger that's a little bit larger. Let's say at least 5 liters. Because on a sling like that, you're carrying more gear, which equals more weight, which equals, you know, you just want more protection and more padding. And that's what this provides, but I just don't know if it's necessary on a 2.5 liter. Now, if you have shoulder pain or you are carrying a crap ton of gear, heavy gear, or you just love the extra comfort, then you'll love this shoulder strap. But for me, definitely overkill. And it's funny, it's one of the things that I think that Able Carry totally missed on these slings, because I think that the Mini is way too thin of a shoulder strap, but then the regular is just way too chunky. Like this is just way too much padding and fabric for me on a 2.5 liter sling. 5 liters, I get it. 2.5, But also, I've read the comments and a lot of people are stoked about this, so it totally depends on the person. One negative too you gotta think about with a sling strap setup like this is you're in a really good position when you keep the sling in a single position, right? So like if I'm rocking it like this, shoulder pad set right here, right? So if there's something heavier, the padding this is actually nice. Like I actually like what's happening right here in this position. But I'm a little fidgety with my slings, and like sometimes I want it on the back, and then I want to swing it to the front, and then I'm doing like this. And this is what a shoulder strap like this kind of takes away from you, is it doesn't give you that versatility to kind of move with the sling throughout your day. You're kind of stuck in one position. Or 2 positions, because you can go front right here where the padding is right on my shoulder, and you gotta do like one of these, and then flip it, and then now it's there, but you know, it's just like, it's a bit more of a song and dance. But if you're not very fidgety, you keep your sling in one position and you carry a bit more gear, and just like the padding in general, this is gonna be pretty awesome for you. I also did not love the strap management and just the overall excess dangle, we've got this piece of hardware right here, which you can unleash and loosen the actual strap with, but it's a little bit difficult. And I don't know, I also just have a brain that has a hard time like wrapping itself around stuff like this. Sometimes my brain does not work always with like how to tighten this hardware. I know it sounds crazy, but like, I don't know. It's just the way I'm wired, but I think we can all agree that this is a little annoying, that when you do tighten it all the way, we have excess dangle on this end, which means you gotta kind of like weave it through here. And our little dangle protester down there, his name is No Dangle Dan. He doesn't like this, and I don't like this. And I don't think a lot of people are gonna like this because that's just, it's just not something that I really want. With every design choice, there are pros and cons. You're getting a lot of versatility with this, you're getting a lot of additional comfort with this, but you're also getting some complications as well. And for me, it's definitely gonna be one of the big breaking points, I think, for a lot of people when it comes to the core sling. But I'd really like to hear your thoughts like on this shoulder strap. Do they nail it? Do you like the versatility and the options? Is it overkill for 2.5 liters? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, some other quick notes on the shoulder strap. We've got an external lash point right here. This is laser cut Hypalon. Very high quality, just again, allowing you to clip things on externally to your bag. And as you saw earlier, we have the ability to completely remove the strap, therefore allowing you to maybe use a different manufacturer's strap or just to turn it into a tech pouch. And there's also a lot of lash points on the outside of this sling, 1, 2 at the top, a couple here at the side, all the ones at the bottom, which again kind of gives you a bit more versatility because you can connect the hardware onto wherever you want. The sling can lay on your torso, however you prefer. That about does it. Let's move on to the next chapter, start packing this bag out and talk about the inside of the Able Carry Core Sling. And for me, the best way to showcase how a sling works from a volume and organization perspective, just to kind of pack it all out at once, so you can see what pockets are competing with each other and what aren't. So let's pack you out. I can see over here, I got a bunch of EDC stuff. Back pocket is always the perfect spot for your wallet and or boarding pass and passport when you're traveling. If you haven't yet, I cannot recommend 1.5 bag travel enough. It's where you got a sling on the front and all your like one bag, packing cube, dop kit, everything else in your backpack, right? And then boarding pass, passport, phone, meds, sunglasses, reading glasses, whatever you need on the plane, quick access right here. Now moving into the main compartment, it should also be noted that different colored slings have different colored interiors. I adore this kind of creamy, little bit of gold, just beautiful interior on the green version of this sling. But I'm less jazzed up about the Ultra version. It's a little darker in there. This lining is a little bit more on the gray side. Still gets the job done. But one thing I'm not sure if it gets the job done is let's kind of talk about just this whole main compartment. It's a little interesting. You have a back sleeve with this center divider, but this divider, unlike other slings that I've seen before, it has its own sort of zipper, which has its own compartment in there. And then there's nothing in the middle, and then just a power mesh pocket accessed via a zipper right here. Now here's the deal. If you look at the shape of this sling, you've got this panel at the top, which sort of covers this sleeve right here. That could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on what you want. If you want the fastest of access, not the best thing. Because you can see I'm putting my iPhone 13 in this sleeve, and then whenever I unzip, just kind of like this panel is there and I gotta kind of work around it. Not the end of the world, first world problems, I get it, but a bit annoying. But if you want a little bit extra security and ensure that the things that are in that pocket aren't sliding all over the place and potentially fall out, then this panel might be a good thing. I'm gonna throw some meds in this zippered pocket, just some Panadol, a little wet wipe. But again, this panel right here sometimes makes accessing this zipper a little complicated as well. As you can see, the zipper ends up over here. It's just kind of hard to find sometimes, difficult to grab. I just think that the access in this main compartment can be a little iffy sometimes. Zipper pocket on the other side, I'm gonna throw my tape measure, my AirPods. And then in the middle, you got a bit of space, not a lot. Could be a good spot for a packable tote. But it should be noted, you're not gonna fit really big things in here. This is my 24-ounce Columbia water bottle. Not gonna happen. Your typical size book or novel, also not gonna happen, which is totally fine. This is a 2.5 liter sling. I would be shocked if those things fit. This is the ultimate size for a pocket reliever. Just meant to take all these little things that you see that I'm packing it out with and take it out of your 4 pockets and put it into the 4 compartments of this sling. Packed up and closing the zippers. And actually, let me talk about these zippers real fast because, as I mentioned, on the Ultra version, they are PU coated. Now, like I said, PU coating is great for additional weather resistance. In fact, here at Nomads Nation, we did our own testing and found that PU coated zippers, although not waterproof, are about 30% more water protective. in terms of like keeping your gear dry. But PU-coated zippers like these are made of plastic, and although they look sleek and sexy right now, they could end up looking like this in as soon as 1 year, maybe 10 years, maybe never. You never know. It just depends on exposure to humidity and sunlight and all these different factors, but something you gotta be aware of. One other note too, you can see we have this little lash point right here, which can act as a theft deterrent. Take the zipper, leave it on through, and then just, a little extra peace of mind when you're on that extra crowded train. And these can act as leverage points as well when you're opening and closing the main compartment. Now moving on to the front pocket, access a lot better. Really nice opening here. No panels getting in the way. And this sling in the main compartment is like fully packed out. And still we have just a really nice opening. I really love this front pocket and how it's just executed. This sort of like design where it's different. I haven't quite seen it done like that. And it's nice, and let me show you why. On the inside, we have this beautiful power mesh, doubled over, wonderful to the touch, stretchy, silky. And I'm gonna throw my portable phone charger right in here. Extra pair of headphones, the best for taking calls. Wireless headphones cannot compare to wired headphones when it comes to taking calls. So always keep a pair with me. You can see we got a little extra space if need be. Throw some tissues in there, maybe a pen at the top, why not? And then obviously we have a key leash as well. You can clip your keys onto. Now we're pushing this sling to its capacity because I want to show you this front pocket, which I think is also one of the most interesting aspects of the Core series because I bloody adore this fabric, which I actually wasn't sure what it was in the last review when I did this, and then somebody was kind enough in the comments to tell me what it is. And it's made by Challenge Sailcloth, the same guys who make Ultra Fabric. They're crushing the game. And this fabric, oh guys, I could talk about it all day. It's stretchy, it's got a coarseness to it, but a beautiful feel and texture. And you can see it also has a little bit of life with this gorgeous pattern, a little bit of extra color in there, and it's even cooler when you get into the field green version. I love everything about this fabric. I actually was first introduced to it with 6 Moons. They use it for their water bottle pockets on the side of their ADC backpack. The only con really is that like any elastic fabric, it can get loosey-goosey over time depending on how much you're stretching it. But this is a great pocket for really things that you want fast access to, like your shades. I wouldn't put your $600 Ray-Bans in there, but as you can see, this is just a great quick access pocket. Also could be a good spot for maybe a snack, but maybe not for something super expensive, right? Like your cheap $20 sunglasses are fine, but your $600 Ray-Bans, not so much. And the reason is, another kind of point of controversy with this sling is this pocket is great, but there's nothing protecting this pocket as to where it's not secure. There's no magnet, there's no zipper, there's no nothing. Which means when the sling is fully packed out, like whatever's in there, it's gonna stay in there pretty well. But if you're in a situation where the sling is less packed out and you put something like your spare charger in there, not secure. For me though, I was a little critical about the Core Mini with this pocket when I was using it, but having tested the sling out a little bit more and understanding the fact that you're probably gonna have your sling kind of more on the packed out side, I don't know, I just think this pocket's great. Like be an adult, know that like you can't tip it upside down and do this and be upset. Something fell out, what the heck? Like, we can't do that. But I think that the trade-offs of the fast access, which is how wonderful this fabric is, it's truly like one of my favorite fabrics in the freaking world. It's so amazing. Oh my God, I love you so much. Make this pocket a big win for me. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, am I, not taking into consideration like security concerns? Does this break the rules of carry? Do you wish that there was like a zipper in there or just maybe like one little magnet just to give you a little extra peace of mind? Let me know what you think in the comments below. A couple final notes before we jump into the next sections is when this sling is fully packed out, it can be a little bit on the bulkier side for the size. Not terribly so, like, it's not terrible. It's kind of a good thing because it means that it can self-stand if you are using it as a tech pouch. But I think it maintains a very slim profile very well. Overall, I honestly, I like most things about this sling. This part, not so much, but everything else, this thing is great. And real fast, if you're still here watching this, I gotta let you know that here at Nomads Nation, we don't just review gear for everyday carry, travel, and carry lifestyle, and all that good stuff in between, but we also, outside of YouTube, have the Nomads Nation newsletter. And in that newsletter, you can look at me like your reporter in the field, where I'm coming directly into your inbox on a weekly basis, bringing you the breaking news in this amazing industry. I'm talking limited edition drops, deals, exclusive collabs, industry trends, and everything in between. So if you want to keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening in this incredible community, be sure to sign up to the Nomads Nation newsletter, which you can do by finding this globe emoji in the description below. Hope to see you in your inbox. Oh, and actually before we jump into the pros and cons, let's do a quick side-by-side comparison. I promised it, just so you know what the core differences are between the regular and the mini version of the Sling. Obviously the size, this one is 1.5 liters versus the regular is 2.5 liters. As we talked about, two big differences in the shoulder straps. We've also got some big differences in the amount of compartments. Remember, in the regular size, we have the elastic compartment in the front, 2 pockets here, and then 1 in the back. But for the mini, we only have the elastic in the front and a main compartment, and that's it. Nothing on the back and no secondary compartment on the front. And then obviously with those compartment differences, the design within those compartments is gonna be very different. So where the core Sling has 2 power mesh pockets on the inside and no divider, just a zippered pocket on the back. And then finally is the shape. The core has kind of an adorable, more circular shape. Or that'd be, what's a long circle? Oval. I'm like, what's the rectangle of a circle? Oval, a little more of an ovular shape, which actually kind of reminded me a bit more of the Tomtoc Sling Bean Sling. But I didn't get any Tomtoc Sling Bean vibes with this bag, because as you can see, it just has a different shape, more pointy at the top. Like the shapes are just very, very different. This one a bit more, I don't know, kind of cool, a bit more masculinity to it, versus the mini I think is a bit more fun and playful. And then the one last thing that I forgot that we screwed up on the mini review is I had no idea on the mini what the purpose of this was. And then in the comments, the community enlightened me, and it's so obvious. How did I miss this? Because we have it here on the regular version as well, which is a pass-through for your belt. And that makes me realize why I didn't think of it, because you would never catch me dead wearing anything here. No offense to anybody who's into it, it's just not my cup of tea. So my brain wasn't even able to like process that being a possibility, but if that is your thing, you can weave your belt on through, and then you've got fanny pack on demand. Not for me. Let's talk about the overall pros and cons of the Able Carry Core Sling. Pro number 1, tons of organization. Pro number 2, gonna be just like world-class fabrics across the board, no matter if it's the Ultra version or if it's the Recore version. And con number 3, I think for a lot of people, is going to be the versatility that the shoulder strap gives. But for me, I'm gonna take that pro and make it a con as well. I think the biggest con of this for many people is going to be the complications of the shoulder strap. For me, way too much, not a fan. Con number 2 is gonna be some access difficulty when it comes to the main compartment because of this panel right here. And con number 3 for many people will be the lack of security when it comes to this front pocket. Hold up actually, real fast. We shot this review yesterday and totally forgot to add the overall score section into the video. So we're gonna do that now. For the comfort, personally, I'm gonna give it like a 2 out of 5. But I also want to acknowledge that if you like the padded strap and the versatility that the strap offers, this could be a 6 out of 5. So that's a very, very personal score, but for me, it's a 2. Overall score for the value of this Sling, I give it a 3 out of 5. And that's not a bad score. Like, it's not like if it's not 5, it's not excellent. It's just that, like, you know, at 120 for the Ultra version, this is kind of around where you'd see some of Able Carry's competitors. It's solid, it's middle of the road. It's right where you'd want it to be at the price point, but it's not like excellent based on market standards. And for my overall score, I give this Sling a 3 out of 5. I commend Able Carry for taking some design risks. They could have played it a little bit safer, but they tried to do their own thing, which for me, some of those own things ended up being a little quirky. But overall, this is a really solid Sling for the right person. And just a reminder, these scores, they are personal, just based on my experience using this bag and the other bags that I've tested. And just a reminder, if you're still watching this and you're thinking about making a purchase, we do suggest making your purchase using the first link in the description below, just because that link makes sure that you get the best price, and if we have any discount codes, that's what it'll be. Okay, now we're gonna jump back to the past to finish the review and talk about the alternatives of the Able Core Sling. First up, if you're new to the channel, you should definitely check out the Nomads Nation leaderboard video. It's where the whole team gets together and picks our favorite bags in different bag categories. I've gone ahead and linked that above. Second, if you enjoy the vibe of Nomads Nation, you might be happy to find out that after reviewing bags for years, we ended up making our own bag brand called Firo. Over the years, Firo's been launching our own backpacks and slings and building our own passionate community. And if you want to learn more about that, you can do so with the second link in the description. But if we're pretty close to the core Sling, let me give you 2 specific alternatives. First alternative recommendation will be the Tomtoc Sling Bean. I brought it up earlier. It's kind of similar in design to the core. Organization here, front stash pocket here with a stretchy material, but it's a bit more budget friendly. Core is premium, but Tomtoc's always coming in at a much more accessible price point. We didn't review the Tomtoc Sling being on Nomads Nation, but we did on our sister channel, Gear for the Girls. And my second alternative is gonna be the Rework Toshi Sling 2.5 liter. Great pick for you if you're looking for a sling like the core that has a lot of different compartments. I actually think the Rework Toshi will give you even one more compartment and probably like 5 more pockets within those compartments and even more shoulder strap versatility. So that's what you're into, like feature heaviness and organization heaviness on your slings. This is a great one, but so is the Rework Toshi. And honestly, the Tomtoc sling is great, but the leaderboard video has even more options. There's a lot of great slings out there, guys. But if you're interested in learning more about the two alternatives, you can go ahead and just watch these videos right here. If you got any questions, be sure to let me know in the comments below or in the Nomads Nation subreddit. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Aaron. This is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.